Hello friends, in this lecture we are going to study one famous but simple rearrangement reaction. And before starting with this reaction, I would like to give one example from which you can get a clear idea about the reaction that we are going to study today. Suppose I have this type of compound and the structure is NH2CO NH2. We are using this compound as a fertilizer and name of this compound is urea. Suppose I have to convert this compound into this type of compound and I would like to remove this C double bond O. Does it possible? Yes, we can convert this urea into this corresponding NH2NH2 that is hydrazine by the removal of this CO group. In this, carbon is lost. Therefore, this reaction is called as a degradation reaction, or it is also called as a step down reaction. So the reaction which involves the removal of carbons from the structure of reactant, they are called as a degradation or step down reaction. And in this lecture, we are going to study one degradation reaction, and the name of this degradation reaction is Hofmann rearrangement reaction. Now let me replace this NH2 group by R, then we will get RCONH2. And if it undergoes the Hofmann reaction, then it will form this type of compound. So from this reaction, it is clear that there is a loss of one carbon from the reactant so that we get this type of amines. And in the Hofmann rearrangement reaction, these are the amides. They are going to convert into corresponding amines. But these amides are unsubstituted one. Look at the structure of this amide. Here there is a presence of NH2. It means that they are unsubstituted one, or we call it as a primary amides, and they are converted into a primary amines with the loss of one carbon. So there is a loss of one carbon, that means it is a degradation reaction or step down reaction. So in this lecture we will discuss Hofmann rearrangement reaction of unsubstituted amide, in which there is a formation of amine with the loss of one carbon. And in the Hofmann rearrangement reaction, we are going to discuss the general reaction of Hofmann rearrangement reaction, then mechanism of this reaction, in which we are going to study the intermediate that are produced or formed in the Hofmann reaction, such as alkyl isocyanate or N-bromamide. Then we will discuss the stereochemistry of Hofmann rearrangement reaction, and finally we will see the synthetic application of Hofmann reaction. So let's begin with the general reaction. Version of unsubstituted amide, that is RCONH2, into corresponding amines when they heated in presence of a bromine and concentrated alkali such as sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide. Here we take sodium hydroxide and 4 moles of sodium hydroxide. It gives corresponding amine, that is RNH2, that is primary amine, plus twice NABR plus Na2CO3 plus twice H2O. This is the general reaction, and from this general reaction it is clear that unsubstituted amide, that is RCONH2, is converted into RNH2, and from this RCONH2 one carbon is lost. That's why this reaction is called as a Hofmann degradation reaction. Now, in this reaction, a bromine and alkali is taken, and from this bromine and alkali, this amide is converted into a corresponding this type of intermediate, that is called as a RCONHBr, and it is nothing but N bromomide or N bromamide. So in this reaction, N bromoamide is formed as an intermediate. That's why this reaction is also called as a Hofmann bromamide degradation. Hofmann bromamide degradation. So this reaction, it is called as a Hofmann rearrangement reaction or Hofmann degradation reaction or Hofmann bromamide reaction. Just we have to look at the structure of reactant and product. This R and NH2, they are joined together in the product, whereas C double bond O group, that is carbonyl group, is lost during the rearrangement process. Now we will see the mechanism by which the amide is converted into amine. So I will write the mechanism here. In the mechanism, first of all, we will see there are 4 sodium hydroxide, that is 4 moles of alkali they are used, and 1 mole of bromine it is used, and this amide contains a NH2 group here, and this NH2 group has 2 hydrogen, they are acidic one. So first step of the mechanism involves a acid base reaction between this amide and alkali, in which one of the hydrogen is removed from this amide and it will form a negative charge on the nitrogen. So first step, in the acid base reaction of the amide and alkali, we will get a negatively charged nitrogen like this. I will write hydrogen here and one hydrogen above the nitrogen. It undergoes acid base reaction with NaOH, and from NaOH we will take only OH minus ion, which abstract the hydrogen, and this electron they are shifted here, so that we will get RCON, negative charge here, and hydrogen. Now already there is a presence of lone pair on the nitrogen. Now this species is going to react with a Br2 in the second step, and it causes nucleophilic substitution reaction. So the second step is nucleophilic substitution reaction. And in the nucleophilic substitution reaction, what happens, that we are going to study here, or I'm going to write here RCON having negative charge and lone pair when it reacts with the bromine. Now this Br or bromine, I am writing like this, Br single bond Br. When this Br2 is going to come in contact with this species, the polarization of this Br2 causes, and this Br, it becomes positively charged and it becomes negatively charged. Then this negatively charged nitrogen attacks on this Br, and this Br is going to remove, and it will form a minus Br here, and we get, sorry, here there's the presence of hydrogen, so that I will write RCONH, and there is the attachment of Br. Now it has a lone pair, and this structure is called as a N-bromoamide, or it is also called as a N-bromamide, bromoamide or bromamide. And this is the intermediate which is formed in this Hofmann reaction. That's why this Hofmann rearrangement is also called as a Hofmann bromamide reaction. Now, in the third step, this N-bromoamide undergo a acid-base reaction with the second molecule of alkali. So the third step is again a acid-base reaction, and in that acid-base reaction, this N-bromamide is going to react with this. I will write here N, then Br here, and remaining hydrogen here with lone pair. It undergoes reaction with NaOH, and from that I will take here OH minus. Again this OH, it abstracts the hydrogen, and this electron they are shifted here, and it will converted into again a negatively charged nitrogen. Now this species is going to have a rearrangement in the next step, and in that rearrangement this R group is shifted from this carbon to the nitrogen, and at that time this nitrogen become a electron deficient. How? We will see in the fourth step, a rearrangement of alkyl or aryl group from carbon to electron deficient nitrogen. So carbon to electron deficient nitrogen. Now look at the structure here. RCON having lone pair and negative charge. Then here there is a Br, and this is the rate determining step. I will write here rate determining step, that is RDS. First of all, what happens? This Br, it is electronegative, and it carries both the electron from this bond, and the bond between nitrogen and bromine is broken down. So it is removed and it is lost with the electron. Now, when this bond is broken down, the nitrogen has here a vacant orbital when this Br is lost from this position. And when this nitrogen has a vacant orbital, then it becomes a electron deficient one. It becomes a electron deficient one, and that's why this negative charge is shifted here, and this R group is migrated from this carbon to this nitrogen. Because here when negative charge is shifted, the carbon single bond becomes carbon double bond, and the valency of carbon becomes 5. So one bond we have to break, and that's why this R group, it may be a alkyl or aryl, it is migrated from carbon to nitrogen, and it is called as a rearrangement of the alkyl or aryl group. When it happens, when bromine is detached from the nitrogen, and this step is called as a rate determining step. And by this step we get, first of all I will write here carbon double bond oxygen. From carbon R group is migrated to nitrogen, but there is a bond between carbon and nitrogen, which is double bond, and this nitrogen is attached with the R group. And this is a intermediate, again another intermediate in the Hofmann rearrangement, and it is called as a alkyl isocyanate. It is an intermediate compound, not a species, because it is a stable one. Now this alkyl isocyanate undergo a series of reaction with the water and alkali to form corresponding amine that we are going to study in the fifth step. So the fifth step is conversion of alkyl isocyanate into amine. So I will write here fifth step, conversion of isocyanate to amine. I will write alkyl isocyanate RNC double bond O. Nitrogen has a lone pair, oxygen has two lone pair plus a water. Now this water attacks on the carbonyl carbon, and after this attack the electron from this bond they are shifted on the nitrogen, and we get corresponding product like this Rn minus, here C double bond O, then oxygen which is attached to the two hydrogen. Oxygen becomes positively charged. Now this oxygen abstracts the electron from this bond and it becomes neutral one, and this hydrogen becomes H plus, and which is abstracted by this nitrogen, and we get RNH C double bond O, and here I will write oxygen, and here I will write hydrogen, that is RNH C double bond O OH. Now look at the structure here. This is the carbon, then they are, look at the structure here, you will find that there is a presence of carbon and two oxygen. So from this structure the CO2 molecule can be removed, and that process is called as a decarboxylation. So this type of compound, it undergoes decarboxylation. How? In this way, the electron from this bond they are shifted here. Now there is a carbon double bond oxygen, so the valency of this carbon becomes 5, so this bond is broken down and the electron from this bond they are shifted on the nitrogen. Nitrogen becomes negatively charged, so it abstracts the hydrogen from this oxygen hydrogen bond, and therefore we get a RNH2 plus CO2. Now this CO2 it reacts with two molecules of sodium hydroxide, and it will form Na2CO3 plus corresponding water. So in this way, two molecules of sodium hydroxide they are used to form a sodium carbonate, and two molecules they are used initially. That's why there are four molecules of sodium hydroxide they are used in this reaction. In this way, we can convert unsubstituted amide into a primary amine. To study the stereochemistry of Hofmann reaction, we have to take the different examples in which there must be a center in the reactant. So first of all, I will write an example like this, in which there is a presence of a methyl group as well as a ethyl group and one hydrogen, and this carbon is attached with the CONH2. As per statement, the reactant should be unsubstituted amide, that is it must have NH2 group in their structure. Now when it treated with uh, Br2 and alkali, that is NaOH. What happens? This CONH2 group, it is lost, and the fragments, that is first fragment and this NH2, they are going to join together, and we will get this type of product here, NH2. So there is a only loss of CO. It looks like a simple on the blackboard or whiteboard, but it is not a simple one. It involves a rearrangement of this group from this carbon to the electron deficient nitrogen. Then and then only we get this type of compound. Now look at the carbon which is attached to methyl group, hydrogen, ethyl group, and this amide group. So this carbon is a chiral carbon because it is attached to the four different group. So it may have a R configuration or S configuration. It may have R configuration or S configuration, and in the product this configuration is retained. So there is a retention of configuration is observed. So here the carbon which is chiral one, it may be a R or S. So if it is R, then in the product we get R configuration. If it is S, then here we get S. Why this is happening? Because we know that in the mechanism we have studied uh, N-bromamide, that is NHBr. This is the intermediate. When it reacts with the alkali, that is acid-base reaction, it is going to form this type of basis in which there is a negative charge on the nitrogen and Br is attached here. And from this species, there is a rearrangement of this R group from carbon to the nitrogen. It means that this R group is transferred from this carbon to nitrogen with the elimination of Br, and there is a formation of isocyanate R N double bond C double bond O that we have studied in the mechanism. Now look at the structure of this species. Here there is a R group and it is migrated from this carbon to nitrogen. So rearrangement is within the molecule, therefore it is a intramolecular rearrangement, and this rearrangement is supposed to occur via this type of basis, that is R. When Br is lost, R, C double bond O, and N. Here is a negative charge. When Br is lost, there is a lone pair, and it is nothing but the acyl nitrine. Though this species is not observed, but it is supposed to be occur via this species. Now the structure of this species is like this. I will write here the structure R, then C double bond O, and here N, negative charge is there. It is a trigonal planar structure, and whatever the stereochemistry of R group in the reactant, it will be retained because it is migrated from carbon to nitrogen within the molecule, because it is an intramolecular rearrangement, and through this trigonal planar structure, that's why we get a retention of configuration. Now we will see the different examples of this Hofmann reaction. For that, I will write first example, that is CH3CONH2. This is a simple one, methylamide. When it is treated with or heated with bromine and alkali, I will write here NaOH. It will give a corresponding CH3NH2, that is methylamine. Here you can see there is a loss of CO group and this NH2 is joined with this methyl group and we get a corresponding example. I will take it from aryl amide, that is phenyl is attached with this CONH2. It is benzamide, and when it is treated with Br2 and KOH, it will form a benzene ring which is attached to NH2, that is nothing but aniline. So here this benzene is directly attached to the NH2 group in the product. It means that we have to remove this CO group and join these two fragments together. Now we will take another example in which we can write a product, and that structure of this compound is CH3 CH CH3 CO NH2. Here I will write a Br2 and KOH. Whatever may be the structure of this reactant, we have to join two fragments which are on the left side and the right hand side of this CO group, and we have to remove this CO group. So after removing this CO group, we have two fragments, that is CH3 CH3, and another fragment is NH2. We have to join them together. In this way, we can write a number of examples of this Hofmann bromamide or Hofmann rearrangement reaction. And finally, we will take some synthetic applications. Synthetic applications of Hofmann rearrangement involves preparation of hydrazine. Urea when treated with bromine and alkali, it gives hydrazine, and this hydrazine has a number of applications in the preparation or synthesis of 5-membered and 6-membered heterocyclic compound, which are having number of biological activities such as anti-cancer, anti-HIV, anti-inflammatory, like this. The second application is preparation of amino acids. When this type of amide, which is having carboxylic group on one side and amide group on another side, when it is treated with bromine and alkali, it is converted into corresponding amino acid. So beta alanine can be prepared. Why this is beta alanine? Because this alpha carbon and this is beta carbon. That's why it is beta alanine. Third application involves preparation of heterocyclic amide. Like aliphatic as well as aromatic amide, we can prepare a heterocyclic amine which are not possible by other processes. So in this heterocyclic amine, when pyridine 3 amide is treated with bromine and alkali, it will give 3 amino pyridine. So these are the synthetic applications of Hofmann rearrangement reaction, and this Hofmann rearrangement reaction we have studied the general reaction, then we have studied the mechanism. In the mechanism we have learned how the intermediates they are formed. The first intermediate is RCONH-Br, that is called as a N-bromamide. Second intermediate is Rn double bond C double bond O. It is isocyanate, and in the formation of this isocyanate we get a rate determining step. In addition to this, we have studied the stereochemistry of this Hofmann reaction, and in that we found there is a retention of configuration. It is intramolecular rearrangement reaction. That's why group is migrated within the molecule, and uh, maybe this intramolecular reaction or rearrangement, there is a retention of configuration in the Hofmann rearrangement reaction. And finally, we have studied the synthetic applications of this reaction. In that, we have gone through the preparation of hydrazine, amino acids, and heterocyclic amines. So, in this way, we have completed the Hofmann rearrangement reaction or Hofmann bromamide or Hofmann degradation reaction. So, we will start next reaction in the next lecture. Till then, keep studying and keep watching. Thank you.